This is no surprise to those of us who've been reporting on this border for years now, knowing, especially with the Joe Biden regime at the helm, that nothing was being done. In fact, our borders were thrown wide open with an invitation to any terrorist or any foreign agent who wants to come here to cause harm on our republic. Your comments, sir?
No, that's exactly right. And I'll tell you what, that happened from day one. Day one of this administration, they started ignoring the rules. They started ignoring, protecting our nation's borders. And it's extremely frustrating. I'll tell you what, like I look at the men and women out here that are putting their lives on the line. And many times, it's just the American public, it looks like they don't care at times. And, and the administration doesn't care. It's been a very rough night, I can tell you out here. Because we know that the men and women are out there putting their lives on the line each and every day. We lost one of our own last night in Tucson sector, and that's always very difficult. And it makes it more difficult when you see an administration that just seems to continue to keep the borders open. And I was speaking to some agents last night, and they themselves said, look, it's difficult when we're putting our lives on the line, and it just looks like it's all for naught. And the American public, we don't have the full support from many of them.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah, for sure. And Art, David Brody here in D.C., it seems as though the evidence is very clear. And as a matter of fact, Republican senators who just toured the border said many of these illegals that are being arrested on the terror watch list, which, by the way, is like been triple or way more than under the Trump administration, because there's more of them coming in, 13 at least in the last 3 years or so. But here's the thing. Many of them are being caught with explosives, literally coming over the border. That's what U.S. senators are reporting. I mean, it's not like this is covert. A lot of it's covert, but some of it's not even covert, Art.
You're right. And I'll tell you what's even more, dramatic and things that people need to focus on is when you catch a couple of individuals that are on the terrorist watch list, they're not coming across the border by themselves. They're coming across the border in a group, many times in a group with other individuals from the same country that they're coming from. They've traveled together for quite some time. And, you catch those one or two individuals in that group that are on the terrorist watch list. But what does that say about the other individuals? The other individuals, you have a vetting system when you fingerprint them, and all you can come back and trace is records if they've been detained in the United States or if we have any records here in the United States. But you don't know, their true record from another country. Right now is the time where you can have many criminals from other countries that the United States just doesn't have their criminal record, and they're taking advantage of that to come into the U.S., start new, and continue their crime spree in America. And a lot of the gang members from Central America and other countries, they're taking advantage of these loopholes now so they can start and continue their enterprise in the United States. It is a complete mess, and this administration has ignored it and said nothing about it. And when they're confronted and asked, they say, oh, it's not happening. The border is secure. The border is far from secure. I grew up out here on the border. I was raised on the border. I was born on the border. I've worked out here for many years. And I can tell you right now, this is the worst I've ever seen it.
Yeah, well, I lived on the border for several years as well. And I knew then what we know now, that they are coming and they're emptying out their mental institutions in our foreign countries and our enemy countries. We shouldn't be surprised that we're seeing the results we're seeing. And again, I'm so sorry about the loss of your Border Patrol agent. I remember, Art, when that used to be major national news when someone from the Border Patrol was killed. I remember seeing the officers' pictures on the wall of all of them that had been killed before. And I'm sure that number is so big now that there probably isn't even a wall anymore. I don't know. But Art Del Cueto, we sure appreciate you being here. And we are keeping you all constantly in our prayers. I want you to know that, this audience especially.